Hello there, my friends, and welcome to today's story. For those that don't know who I am, well, let me introduce myself. My name is Andy, and I am a storyteller. Now, I'm not going to read a story to you. I'm going to use my imagination and tell you a story. So I'm just going to be looking at you and telling and describing and sharing what I see inside my head. I'm going to use my imagination. Now, if you want to join me in today's story, I need you to be nice and relaxed and comfortable. So to help you do that, I'm going to share something amazing. I'm going to show you a really wonderful way to be more relaxed. So I want you to put your hands on your tummies, and I want you to breathe in through your noses, fill up your lungs, and let your lungs expand and push down, and your tummy's going to stick out a little bit if your tummy muscles are nice and relaxed. So it's a bit like filling up a beach ball with air. All right, so put your hands on your tummies, breathe in, and breathe out very slowly. Let's do that one more time. Hands on your tummies, breathe in, and breathe out very slowly. Fantastic. Now, I hope you're ready for today's story. And our story begins with a snowman. A snowman that is, of course, standing outside. The wind is icy and it's blowing strong. It's night time, and the snowman is very happy because it sees this moon rising up in the sky. Now, the snowman doesn't know that it's called a moon. All it knows is that hot, fiery thing during the day is not very nice because he's starting to fall apart. Isn't that what happens to snowmen during the summertime? Or when it warms up, the snow begins to melt? Well, this is what this story is all about. Perhaps you know this story. It's called The Snowman. But the snowman was happy now because it was night time and the air was much colder. But it was thinking, what could it do during the day? How could it get away from that hot, fiery thing? Ruff, ruff. It was the sound of a dog. Now, this dog had a very hoarse voice. This dog was used to being indoors, and now it was outdoors, and it didn't go woof, woof, like some dogs do. No, this dog went ruff, ruff. Much rougher, hoarser voice. Oh, that sun will teach you to run. The sun, said the snowman. What is the sun? He asked the dog. Ruff, ruff. The sun, that hot fiery thing that comes up during the day. That will teach you to run. And the snowman thought, where could he run? Could he run into the shadows behind the shed, or run into the shadows amongst the trees? Maybe there he would be safe. But he didn't need to worry about that right now because it was night time. The snowman remembered how he came to be, and all the children that were laughing and giggling as they put him together. His eyes were made with two triangle pieces of tiles, and he had a rake, the end of a rake that you use for raking up leaves in the garden. He had the rake stuck in his mouth, so he even had teeth. The next day, there was a thick blanket of icy fog. It was beautiful. It It was mixed amongst the trees. And the water that was dripping off the leaves had frozen as well, so there were long icicles hanging from the branches and the leaves of the trees. And a young lady and a young man came running out of the house, holding each other's hands and running and laughing and running. And they stopped and they looked and they said, "Oh, goodness me, what a beautiful day! And to think that summer is on its way. He's not going to be around, is he?" Pointing at the snowman. And off they ran. And the snowman looked towards the dog and asked, "Who are they? Are they like us?"
"Ruff, ruff,"
replied the dog.
"No, they belong to the master. From the house. They are humans."
"Ah, yes," remembered the snowman. "Just like the boys and the girls that put him together." He was learning things now. He hadn't been around that long, and all these things that he was coming to learn. Not like the dog. The dog had been around a long time. And then the snowman looked towards the house and saw something glowing from one of the windows. An orange glow. "What is that? That looks amazing."
"Ruff, ruff," replied the dog. "That is the kitchen, and what you're seeing is the stove. I used to be in there. Well, actually, I started off on the first floor with the master of the house and all the children. They loved me when I was young, and they would cuddle me and tickle me and scratch me behind my ears. But then they got bored of me and I went down into the kitchen. But that was fine. I got to lie next to the stove, and the cook, oh, she looked after me. She threw me bits of food every now and again. Oh, I had tasty things to eat all through the day, and when I felt like sleeping, I could sleep. That was until I was kicked out of the house."
"Why? What happened?" asked the snowman.
"Well, one of the boys tried to kick the bone that I was gnawing on, tried to take it away from me and kick it away, and I bit him. Perhaps I shouldn't have done that, but that's how I ended up outside here, in this kennel, all chained up. But still, I get fed. It's okay."
The snowman had stopped listening to the dog. It was still mesmerized by the fire inside the kitchen. It was as though the snowman had fallen in love with the stove in the kitchen. It loved the colors, the orange. And the dog sensed that the snowman was interested and fascinated by the fire.
"Ruff, ruff, that fire will melt you. You will be no more."
"Well," said the snowman, "it's not like I'm not falling apart already. I already feel like I'm melting away." The next day, water had melted off from the roof and had run down the window and frozen, so there were icicles all over the glass. Ice flowers had formed, and the snowman tried and struggled to see through the window to see the beautiful orange colours of the stove, and couldn't. And the sun came out and the ice on the windows started to melt away, and then the snowman could see the stove and the fire.
"Ruff, ruff, you're melting away."
The The sun was much hotter that day, and it was warmer again the following day, and the day after that. And soon the snowman was no more. And then the dog realized why the snowman had such a strong connection with the stove in the kitchen. Because there he saw that the children had used the spade that was used to carry coal into the kitchen or clear the ashes away. That had been used to support the snowman. And now the snowman was no more. Its triangle tiles, its eyes were lying on the ground. But the dog knew that in time, when the snow returned, another friend, another snowman would be back.
Ruff, ruff.
Now, that is the story of the snowman told by me. You may have heard it differently, and that's the beautiful thing about storytelling. I've read that story, and the way I told you that story is my way. And you've heard the story from me, so you can go and tell the story of the snowman to somebody else, maybe a friend, maybe somebody in your family, maybe your brother or your sister. I hope you enjoyed that. This is all part of the Sutton Newtown Community Festival, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye-bye.